can't believe you two took that raving lunatic seriously. What do you think this is?
Hi, YouTube. For lack of knowledge here. And if you've been following the news at all lately, you've seen that Kanye West has been dealing with a bit of some issues lately. He's being admitted to UCLA hospital, supposedly dealing with dehydration and exhaustion. But people close to him have said that he's been dealing with some things in recent months. And through his concerts and all, he's been going on these unintelligible rants and things of that nature. And I'd just like to say that it is very obvious that he is under spiritual attack, like he has stated himself. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised he has lasted this long. If you take a look at his environment, it's polluted. If you live in an environment of pollution, you're going to get sick. And Kanye was raised into church. That's well known. His mother raised him into church. And, although he's not perfect, he knows the right ways of God. It's been instilled in him. Like in Proverbs, it says to train up a child in the right way. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. So, once that's ingrained in you as a child and growing up, it stays in there somewhere. And now you can backslide. You can even go down the wrong path. But when it's instilled in you at such a young age, God has a foothold in your spirit, and it won't completely leave you. All right. And, we can't forget that this is the guy that made Jesus Walks. This is one of the most influential songs of the decade from an individual that is not necessarily a gospel artist. He is a secular, rapper. And this had such an impact on so many people. I even saw a quote where Kirk Franklin said that if nothing else, he has respect for him for that song. He said, I wish I could have made that song. He got that song. He's like, I wish I could have had that. So he is a person in a good place to influence millions and millions of people around the world. And he had started taking steps to do that. I know he doesn't use the best language. And, even the president has referred to him as an idiot. He has his ways. He is human. He's flawed. But, to give praise or give honor or recognize the one true God can never be frowned upon. Right. So, but if you take a look at some of the people around him, right, this is his environment. This is what has made him sick and why he is saying that he is under spiritual attack. I have nothing personally against, Jay-Z, Beyonce, or Kim Kardashian. All right. But you already know where I'm going with this. Jay-Z started out okay. I don't know at what point he got to where he is, but there is a point that he shifted. Beyonce started out okay, but then after she met Jay-Z and they started going strong for a while, she shifted. And Kim Kardashian has started out on a path that was different from all of them, but she has just started out completely in the wrong way. So if you look at Jay-Z, this guy has evolved from, and I was a big Jay-Z fan and I was a Beyonce fan before my eyes were open to some things. Now, he went from Sean Carter, and this has evolved to having multiple aliases. This has gone to Jay-Z. He's known as Jigga Man. And then you get into stuff like Young Hove or Hove. And then he's outright called himself Jehovah. All right. Let's take a look at a clip of him having people chant the name of God while doing sacred geometry, the pyramid, this occultic symbolism. People that are in these elitist or Luciferian circles, they really value sacred geometry and sacred numerology. There's meaning in symbols. There's meaning in numbers. But they are chanting, almost giving worship to this man on a stage. Let's take a look at that.
Yes. Spread love to all of my dead loves. I pour out a little Louis to a head above. And when I perish, the meek shall inherit the earth till that time is on and poppin'. Church. That's my word. I never read the Bible in my life. I don't even know how to know that. Yeet. Oh my God, leave that. Yeet. I'm gonna chase you out of church. Like you left the state on a rap. What happens? Like you need to stay and do some like sexual tackles and shit. You got the right and shit. I would say the boss. And when the beat come back in, you come back on the stage and the crowds will go up. Like see how the crowd like. Yeah, now see that's what I'm talking about. They love you, Jigga. They love you, Jigga.
Okay, these are things don't necessarily catch your attention until you step back and really look at what's going on. This is blasphemous. This is crazy. This is absolute insanity. And people are so brainwashed. They're so caught up in the moment that they don't realize that they're doing what they're doing, or they just have no clue of the underlying currents and themes and the things that they're being persuaded to do. Like they're sheep and they're just following right along. Jay-Z is an intelligent man. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I've always said this too. We have to watch music in particular, because Lucifer, when he was in heaven, he was made with musical instruments in his body. If you actually look in Ezekiel, and I won't quote it now, but it says, the pipes and timbrels were made and created in him in the day that he was made. So he had some capacity. He was the anointed cherub. It also goes on to say, but he has some capacity to actually generate music within himself. Angels are created differently than humans and other animals on earth. And animals can communicate musically. Birds sing, even whales have songs that they sing or whatever. But he was obviously a master of music, of melodies, things of that nature. So we really, really have to watch music. Look that up in Ezekiel if you're interested in that. Now, going back to Jay-Z being very intelligent, this is why I hold him accountable for a lot of stuff, because he is highly intelligent. When I used to listen to his music, he used to always use, a vast vocabulary, and the way he tied things together, you could tell that he was not a slow guy at all. And when you look at some things that he does, you can tell that he's completely bought into this Luciferian doctrine. He really believes, like some of these other elitists, that, they are their own God. And that their light and dark dualistic nature is normal, and it should be expressed however they want. You are your own God. There's even an image of him wearing a shirt that has a famous quote by Aleister Crowley, "Do what thou wilt." And this comes from the book of the law. And it states, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." This is what Satan wants us to do. This is what he wants us to believe to our core, so that we're just in chaos. We're just doing whatever we feel we should do, and that maybe we can balance out good and bad or whatever. And this is the subscription to the beliefs that every other religion on earth has other than Christianity, that if you do more good than bad, or if you do nice things, that you deserve to have some type of heaven or some type of happy afterlife. And this in turn also goes into this new world order that's going to be coming, because you see a big push a lot of the time for these multi-religious type of events. You'll see a lot of different religious leaders from different religions getting together to have prayer days and stuff like that, which on the surface doesn't seem bad, but there is an underlying current of this, kumbaya, everybody get along, coexist type of thing. And like I've stated before, the truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not. The truth is not subject to different people's perspective. If I don't believe that gravity exists, doesn't mean that if I jump off a cliff, I'm not going to fall to my death. And so there is only one truth. And we really need to take the time to look into it, to preserve our own souls, to seek God, to seek our Creator. There is a religion that is right. All religions cannot be right. They don't all lead to the same path. one road leads that way, and the same road that leads north cannot lead south. So there can't be this. This is a trick of the devil. He has to bring in a one world religion, just like a one world government, a one world monetary system, for the Antichrist to take control of all and be ruler of all and deserve, in his mind, worship from all of earth. Now, these are things that are prophesied. They will come to be, but it pays to be aware of them. That doesn't mean we have to, go along with it. You can resist it. It just will happen, and we don't have to buy into it and believe it. Now, since Beyonce has met and gotten closer and closer to Jay-Z, which now they've ended up being married for a while now, she has progressively gone off the correct path. You can tell she's dabbling in other religions. She was, she openly claims to be Christian, but she has slowly veered away from that. As you can see, this is just, it started, I believe, with the I Am album that she put out. Now, I Am is the first name that God used of himself in scripture. Moses was speaking to him in the burning bush, and he said that, whom shall I tell the people sent me? And God just simply replies, I am. Tell them that I am sent you, or I will be whom I will be is what is translated. AI, Esha, AI. Tell them that I am sent you. So it is very well known that, and Jesus also used I am in multiple places, and it was very powerful. One of the scenarios that just comes to mind, there's many of them, but the one that's most powerful to me is when they were coming to take him in the Garden of Gethsemane for the Passion to be crucified. And, the troops came up to him. The centurion asked, who is Jesus? And Jesus actually said, I am he. And in one of the Gospels, it's so powerful that he had stated his own name. He said, I am. And it said, and straightway they fell backwards. Like everyone just fell flat to the ground because him stating his name, verbalizing it. And then it's almost like time started over. They got back up and asked again. So I Am is a very, very powerful name. It is the first name that God actually revealed to human beings. So her album, I Am, and I know it goes on to say Sasha Fierce, but it is segmented in a way to say I am. And if you look at the album cover, and it actually represents the dualistic nature that they elitists have subscribed to and that she started to buy into as well. She's fresh faced on the front, no makeup, representing purity and this and that. And it's not a coincidence. Believe me, there's no such thing as coincidence that she is holding a crucifix in her hand, and that's representing her light side, or that I am, that's her, she's God, and that is her good side. And then on the back, it represents Sasha Fierce, which is her dark side. I am Sasha Fierce. So, but, and she has also done some other things. Let's take a look at this, this Kali, or Kali, as some pronounce it, video. Now, Kali, just keep in mind, is a Hindu goddess. And, worship and giving honor to this goddess is supposed to bring you quick success. And, you should be able to trample upon your enemies. But let's take a look at this really quickly.
Sasha was in full effect. Sasha is my alter ego. And when people see me, sometimes I think that when they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. And I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage. So Sasha comes out and she's fearless. She can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me. And I knew that was going to be my coming out night.
Now, another toxic piece in this Kanye puzzle is finally Kim Kardashian. Now, Kanye has taken this lady for his wife, and many women have had a negative impact on men of God, and men have come under spiritual attack because of their wives, or at least their wife being spiritually weak. And it goes both ways. But we're speaking about Kanye here. And there's certain examples like Adam, Adam in the Garden of Eden. It's pretty obvious. Eve was convinced by the serpent and she saw the fruit and she thought the fruit was good. It looked good and that it looked good for food and that it was good to make one wise. And so she took it and she ate it. And then she gave it to her husband. She obviously persuaded him, although he had known God said don't eat it. So that was one example. And then there's King Solomon in the Bible as well. King Solomon, it's really good to pay close attention to him because he was known as the wisest man to ever live. He had prayed for and received wisdom from God. But even in his wisdom, over time, he got worn down by these multiple wives that he was taking from some of these pagan peoples that were around him. King Solomon was quite the ladies' man. He had many, many, many wives and many, many, many concubines, and they wore him down. He ended up allowing high places to be put up to worship false gods and, temples to worship false gods and things in the land. And that was cursed. It was not, a good thing at all. And then you have an example. The last one I'll give is Job. Job in the Bible is very interesting because at the very beginning of the book that, Satan was negotiating in a way or talking to God. And he was saying that the only reason Job respects you, pretty much to paraphrase, is because you put a hedge of protection around him. He said, if you take that hedge of protection away from Job, that he will curse you to your face. And it's very, very interesting that I've noted that if you look and not even a chapter later, several verses later, Job was interacting with his wife because some of these, afflictions were starting to befall him that Satan was putting on him. And Satan actually used and spoke through Job's wife. And she said the exact words to him, like she was trying to prompt him to do exactly what Satan wanted Job to say to God, because his wife said to him, you should curse God and die. So that's very, very interesting. You really have to watch the people you have around you. If Satan can't use your wife or your husband or a close family member, he'll go to the next one. He'll go to a trusted friend or co-worker. If he can't get any of them to get at you, he'll use a stranger. And so, the enemy wants to start close to you and he'll try to use people. That's not saying that people are necessarily possessed, which honestly, I believe some of these people around Kanye are possessed because they have willingly opened themselves. They've opened the door and opened themselves up to it and want it. But us in our personal lives, we need to watch it because it's not that we're demons, but the enemy can use us, and he has used us all at times. And so we have to be aware of that. She has a Jezebel spirit to her, Kim Kardashian. All right. She has worldwide fame from having sex with famous men, starting with Ray J and now to the current day is to her husband, Kanye. And so, and the mother-in-law, Kris Jenner. All right. She runs the entire family and has done wickedly, in my opinion, by glorifying, monetizing and promoting, promiscuous and narcissistic ideals throughout not only her own family, but the world. They revel in the fact that they've amassed wealth and popularity through sexual immorality and narcissism, period. Kim is known as also the queen of selfies. This shouldn't be considered a flattering title, but even Bruce Jenner, and I won't go into him, but he's been devastated spiritually in this battle that's going on. So, my goodness. But, maybe God has been calling Kanye back to the righteous path, or at least pulling him off of the blatantly destructive one. So, Kanye is still in a position to influence a lot of people, just like in his Jesus Walks days. So, this is one of many reasons that we should pray for him. So once again, let's stay awake of what's going on around us. And please do not be destroyed for lack of knowledge.
We at war. We at war with terrorism, racism, but most of all, we at war with ourselves. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.